Let's get into it. Soul Not For Sale podcast, episode 636. We got Tucker Carlson, Bill O'Reilly, and they're talking about something that Bill calls the age of disorder. Now, I call this the attack within, but Bill calls it the age of disorder. And I like it a lot. I agree with everything he has to say in this clip, and I think you will too. And then after I show you this clip, I'm going to show you some examples of the age of disorder with something that's happened recently, which is a lot of looting in Chicago. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to show you the perspective of someone who is in a organization, civil rights organization, social justice organization. Then I'm going to show you an example of someone talking about the same instance who is in the government, the actual mayor of Chicago, I believe. And then I'm going to show you someone speaking about it who's in the government, AOC, just so you get some examples of the age of disorder in action on all levels. Now, let's just get right into that. Of course, you know I'm going to bring you to the store. I was going to say to the show. This is the shirt show right here where you can bring the... Anyways, this is the first shirt we got up. It's the newest design. We the people. We the people. We got Klaus Schwab saying you will own nothing and be happy. And then we have the people saying, you know what? I don't think so, buddy, because we're not into that. Then we have the Public Enemy #1 shirt. Of course, you know about this one. Google the World Economic Forum. You'll understand very quickly. You know, don't Google it, YouTube it, because YouTube, surprisingly, a little more honest about what's going on with this organization, the World Economic Forum. And then we also have the Soul Not For Sale shirt, a bold statement. It's actually the shirt that I have on right now. You can get it in a hoodie, t-shirt, tank top, or a mug, whatever you'd like. And if you want 10% off of anything you just saw, all you got to do is put in the discount code I am Coach Colin, all capital letters, all one word, one L in the name Colin, gets you 10% off. No questions asked. You're very welcome. And if you've done this with us already, thank you so much. Now, let's get into this first clip. The age of disorder. Bill O'Reilly, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's what we're in. With Joe Biden's administration, the second worst president in American history.
Who'd be the first?
James Buchanan. And I know you know, James Buchanan allowed the Civil War to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 years, he sat on his butt. He didn't do anything. The people in the South were attacking federal agents, burning down depots, stealing guns. He didn't do a thing. Worst president by far. We're in the age of disorder now. America has entered the age of disorder. And it's because of the progressive movement. President Biden, in my opinion, is diminished mentally.
Yes.
Doesn't know what he's really doing from day to day. And you can see that in his public statement.
Pretty evident. Yeah.
Right. The progressives like that because the people who control him inside the White House can tell him anything and he'll do it.
Who are they, by the way?
Well, Klain and Rice were the two in the beginning. And then their assistants have taken over. Names escape me at the man. You'll never see them, ever. But they basically tell Joe what to do and say. So this open border policy, which is insane, literally insane, okay? This has led to massive death with the fentanyl problem, destruction of cities like El Paso, whole cities evaporated, chaos in New York where you've got buses of migrants being attacked by citizens who don't want to move into their neighborhoods. There isn't anything good about this. And immigration law says this should not be happening, but Biden won't enforce the law because the progressives don't. George Soros' main thing for almost his whole life is no borders anywhere. Everybody comes and goes out there, and he pumps hundreds of millions of dollars into the progressive cause, and they finally got their guy. Everybody thought Obama. Obama didn't go that far.
No.
Biden, age of disorder. Black Lives Matter, no police, nobody's punished for crimes, tax people up to here so they don't have any assets. The more money you take from people, the less power they have. And the progressives want to run everything, including telling your children what to think when they're 5 years old. And most Americans don't get it. because the press is working with the progressive movement and suppresses all this. So they don't know that we're in the age of disorder. And we are, everywhere, from Seattle to Key West, everywhere. And we got to snap back, or we're going to lose what we have here.
Man, so true. So true. Especially the part he just said, no assets equals less power. That is so true. If you don't have any assets, you have no power. And that links right to, and I love that he brought up George Soros, that links right to Agenda 2030. That links right to you own nothing and be happy. That's exactly where things are going. He listed off everything perfectly. And we even say Black Lives Matter. You don't even have to just say that, because you can broaden it to all of these social justice, equality type of organizations. All of them help this happen. All of them. Every single one you can think of. They all aid this movement in happening. This whole age of disorder. It's been wild. I talked about this before. I mean, when you bring up Black Lives Matter, you're really thinking, and it's very sad, but the first thing that comes to mind is riots. Riots and cities burning down. Chicago, I think it was the mayor at the time, I'm not even sure. I think she was saying, it's going to be a summer of love. This is a mostly peaceful protest. All of these nonsensical things that you're like, why? How is this being said? Why are they allowing this to happen? And when I was covering this day by day, every single day, seeing everything that I possibly could, you saw more black businesses get harmed by this than anything. So they would go into cities claiming that they're fighting for black people and then burn black businesses down. It made no sense. Hurt black people. It was crazy. None of it made any sense. And when you need the police the most, they wanted to defund the police. Like, everything he said was just perfect. Now I'm going to show you some examples of what Bill's actually talking about. This whole age of disorder. This is a perfect example, because this has been happening on and off. It happened in New York. It was because of a streamer, but it got way out of control. There was thousands of people who were just rioting, looting. This has been happening in Chicago on and off. Periodically, just hundreds of people get together, wreck everything, and what the mayor has to say about this whole thing is just wild. So yeah, let's start showing you some examples of the age of disorder. Let's start here.
Hit with reckless misconduct charges, a 15-year-old was arrested for having a gun with a laser and a silencer on it, and a 17-year-old was arrested for having a machine gun. This 7-Eleven behind me was looted, turned completely upside down. And you're looking at that video showing the teens taking items from inside the 7-Eleven and throwing it around the parking lot. An estimated 300 to 400 teens showed up for this teen trend in the South Loop. There were fights and then there was looting. This all started after 8 at Canal and Roosevelt, and then the teens started spreading out, traveling here just a few blocks to the 7-Eleven. Inside, store employees didn't want to say much, but it's very clear some of their shelves are bare. CPD says they are using new tactics, including using community groups on the ground during the trends to try to get the kids to go home. The founder of Project Hood, he told me he was here.
Young people have to learn, when you break laws, there are consequences. And I think sometimes we're a little too easy on individuals who consistently, continuously break the laws and think that it's okay. It's not okay to break laws. It's not okay to steal from stores. It's not okay to stop traffic and stand on cars. None of that is okay. That is not behavior that we should tolerate. But at the same time, I only wish that more of us who love the city of Chicago would find things for these young people to do.
Things for them to do. Man, get jobs. Work. Work. That's what I did. I dropped out of high school. Guess what the first thing I had to do was? Work. I had to go work. And I had to be working all the time. It was either go to school or work. That's how it should be. And if they're going to school, they have plenty of work to do at school. I don't know. Give them something to do. I agree, you know, there should be some kind of after school programs, this, that. I benefited from that a lot as a kid, but work. Because all these kids, you can't sit back and say all of these kids are just like, oh man, they're all just on some hard times. This is just not true. But let's start here. This woman is actually a part of, if I can even say that, maybe I'm canceled now. Maybe it's not a lady. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But she's a part of the Black Lives Matter movement. This is what she has to say about what you just saw in terms of the rioting. Talk about people being easy on these kids. Here.
If somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike, because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations. That is reparations. Anything they want to take it, because these businesses have insurance. They're going to get their money back. My people aren't getting anything. If somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike, because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations.
That's reparations. That's amazing. Imagine having a mind that works like that. I could not imagine my brain working like that. Literally thinks that should be reparations. They should be able to go out and steal because it's reparations. Now, again, going back to what Bill O'Reilly said, this is it. This is the age of disorder. This doesn't make any sense. Imagine you're a part of an organization that's supposed to be helping people in urban areas find a better way of life. And the thing that you're endorsing is looting and rioting. Like, I don't know what else classifies a riot. They're destroying things and they're stealing things and they're rushing businesses. That's a riot. That's a riot. That's looting. That's how that works. It doesn't matter how old you are either. So, though they're endorsing young people, African Americans, looting businesses, rushing into businesses, taking whatever they want, whether it's Gucci or Macy's, because now they get to eat. What she's endorsing is go into a business, steal what you need, sell it on the black market for money. That's reparations. Do you know, if this wasn't a black woman saying this, I would say this is racist. This is racist. This is your brand of reparations. Imagine, think of this. Imagine if some white Republican person said, you guys want reparations? Well, maybe you should just go out into the streets and go into businesses and steal things and sell it on the black market and take the money there. That's reparations. These places have insurance. That person would be so canceled. Imagine if Trump said that. I got your reparations. You want reparations? Just go into any store you want. Steal as much as you can. I know you guys are good at that kind of thing. Go and steal as much as you can. Sell it on the black market. There's your reparations. Imagine. They would bring back the guillotine for Trump if he said that. So wild. But this goes back to that whole thing. Bill O'Reilly calls it the age of disorder. I call it the attack within. How is that not an attack within? This is one person who's literally using people who are urban, using urban people to go and hurt businesses, sell things on the black market for money, and then is branding that as some kind of reparations. How is that not an attack within? How is that not erosion of the country? Like, how is that not viewed as something absolutely horrible? Let's move on to the next phase of things. This is the actual mayor. This is the mayor of Chicago talking about this instance. Let's hear what he has to say about this. He should be raging mad, right? That's how it should be. He should be really upset, right? Let's see.
That's not appropriate. We're not talking about mob actions. I didn't say that. Hold on a second, okay? Respectfully, these large gatherings, just hold on a second, y'all. I promise you, we have time to talk. It's important that we speak of these dynamics in an appropriate way. This is not to obfuscate what is actually taking place.
This was the scene near Roosevelt and Canal Sunday night. Groups looted a convenience store. More than 36 teenagers were arrested, along with a 12-year-old and at least one 20-year-old. Store owners say it was the second such incident in that area in just the past few weeks. And today, Mayor Johnson commended Chicago police for the way they handled it.
To the best of their ability, I believe that they attempted to engage with our young people, with community partners, giving as much warning as they possibly could. And, unfortunately, arrests, were made. That's not appropriate. We're not talking about mob actions. I didn't say that.
It's not talking about mob actions. This wasn't a mob, okay? It was a large gathering. This was a large gathering. How again, going back to what Bill said, the age of disorder. Keep that in mind. The attack within. Keep that in mind. How is this not seen as that? There's clearly a problem with these people. They're clearly doing things that are so illegal. You won't call it looting. You won't call it rioting. You're calling it a large gathering. A wedding is a large gathering. A birthday party is a large gathering. A party is a large gathering. Why is he referring to this as a large gathering? It's to enable more of this. Like they just said in this whole thing, this is the second time this has happened. It's just incredible. Here, let me just go. I'm gonna go here.
Gatherings, just hold on a second, y'all. I promise you, we have time to talk.
No, we don't have time to talk, man. Your city's burning down. You actually don't have any time to talk. Listen, everybody, just relax. We got all the time in the world. I mean, I got no pressing issues right now. Let's just all sit down and just chill out. We're just talking about large gatherings here. Listen, who's to say that this wasn't a birthday party and they were just searching for the birthday cake? Who's to say? I mean, sometimes the birthday cake is inside a 7-Eleven, and sometimes you have to wreck the whole place just to find it. Sometimes you got to commit some violent acts in the streets to find the birthday cake. Have you guys never played Find the Birthday Cake? This is just a large gathering, folks. How is it that this happens, like with a mayor? And this is his reaction, and right away people don't go, well, we're all here. I don't know, City Hall. You have to leave. You have to leave. We've picked another mayor already, and you can't be mayor anymore. How is that not the reaction to all this? It's very interesting, man. They have a lot of these people brainwashed, not just in the urban areas. This happens in the white communities as well. A lot of white people are conditioned to be guilty, feel guilty for being white, feel guilty for their privilege. There's a whole set. There's so much brainwashing going on throughout every community right now. And it's all designed to just divide us. And again, O'Reilly calls it the age of disorder. I like that, but I call it the attack within. Now let's go up another level of government to the always brilliant AOC, because she always has something great to say. Let's hear it.
And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night. And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. You maybe they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night. And so
that's all it was. It's just for bread. It's just for bread, guys. It's just either that or go hungry. To what she's saying about going hungry. You know how you actually teach someone proper values. You don't allow them to now steal everything. You help them get jobs. You put them in a position to go get a job and work for, it's not the best per hour. It might be minimum wage, but whatever. That's how you got to do it. That's how it works. When there was a time, me and my brother, we were at home, we opened the fridge, there was no food. And it wasn't because there was just no food, it's because we ate it all, and we ate it all fast. And my mom decided, you know what? I'm not going to buy any food for the next few days because you guys don't understand how quickly food goes away. And we weren't like little kids. We were teenagers. I think my brother might have even been in his 20s, but like we were young, but we were able to work. We were working age, and we weren't valuing money. We weren't valuing food. So she just for a few days was like, I'm not buying anything. You ate it too fast. There was still like bread and like margarine and stuff, and corned beef in the cupboard, little cans of tuna. There was still stuff, but it wasn't what we wanted. It wasn't all the bacon and all sausage, all that stuff. And she just didn't buy food for a few days because she's like, you guys don't get it. And after a few days of that, we understood. And we started to value it more. I'm pretty sure my brother, from that experience, went and got a job and never needed to ask for food again. He went and he just said, okay, I'm just going to work, obviously. Sorry, didn't realize. That was it. And I did the same thing soon after. I don't know. I don't get it. You have some, AOC is saying it's okay. They just needed some bread. Why don't you go to a food can't you go to a bread hall? Like what's it called? A food bank. Can't you go to a food bank and get food? And if it's not in your town, go to the next town over and get some? To think, how else can this be registered other than an attack within, or the age of disorder, like Bill O'Reilly kindly puts it? How could this not be registered as that? You're allowing people to riot and loot, and you won't call it a riot or looting. See, the thing is, when it happened back when BLM was doing it, you were able to say it was a protest. That's why they called it a mostly peaceful protest. Now there's nothing going on, and now they're branding it as something else, just large gatherings. Oh, we're not sure. It's wild. It's wild. I love that Bill O'Reilly touched on that. I love that Tucker has brought Bill O'Reilly on the show. I got a few more clips from this interview. It was a great interview. So glad they did this. I was happier that I watched that instead of the debates, because debates are ridiculous now. Like, let me guess with the debates. Vivek won. Let me guess. He did the best because he knows how to talk, and the rest of them are just bumbling. Oh, wow. Big surprise. And Trump, let me also guess. Trump wasn't there, and they talked about Trump for more than 10 minutes. That was their talking points. Am I right? I didn't watch it. Am I right? I bet I am. Anyways, guys, if you haven't liked the episode, and let me know in the comments, what do you think? What do you think of the age of disorder? What else have you seen? Are you in a city where they're allowing stuff like this to happen? Are you in a city where they're allowing people to just break into Gucci stores and do this and that, and nobody gets arrested? And if they do get arrested, they're released soon after. Are you feeling the effects of this age of disorder, as Mr. O'Reilly puts it? If you are, let me know in the comments. If you're seeing it and you notice it as well, let me know in the comments. And also, if you've watched until this point, I forgot to bring it up at the beginning. I'm trying to find guests. Please, if you know of creators that you watch on YouTube, on Rumble, anywhere, please say them in the comments. Let me know who you think I should reach out to. I'm going to reach out to them. I want to start interviewing people. I want to start bringing truth seekers onto the show, and I want to start having conversations around this type of stuff. So if you could do that for me, that would be great. Other than that, I am out. Subscribe.